What's wrong with Jared Hayne?
An AC, probably 2 or 3 weeks. I was just talking to him before we started selection, so he battled through last night, so unfortunately he's disappointed, but won't be available.
And Justin Hodges, you didn't?
No, we went for Josh Morris. I think a little bit more football, and he plays right centre for New South Wales, so he's handled right centre. He's played tests for me with his brother, because we moved Brett to right wing usually as well, so they play well together. So a bit more football this year, and in a short preparation, he knows everything that we did overseas as well. He was with me with the Kangaroos, so we went for Brett.
What does that mean for Justin, Tim? Is it when he's towards the end of his career?
No. I mean, if Justin had been fit last year, he'd gone on the Kangaroo tour. I think he was one of the first outside backs picked. But it just means him getting through I think he's had 3.5 games. So just to see him get through the next few games, obviously he'd be happy to play, and I'm sure Queensland will pick him in the State of Origin, and then. And I'm sure Brad will be picked as well. So Josh rather. So I think it'll just come down to the end of the year. If he's going well, he'll be picked in the Four Nations.
And also, who else is missing? Andrew Feeder
and Josh Papali. Yeah, from that starting side last year. Yeah.
Is that form or?
I think a little. You'd have to say that would be picked on form. Yeah.
What's the update on Sam Friday too?
Well, the story is that Sam would play for Brisbane this week if there was a game, so therefore we'll give him every chance to be ready for the test match. Sam's spoken to me and wants to play. Medically, we'll have a really good look at him though. I'm not going to risk him at this point, not only just for his club footy and other rep games coming up, but also for us. We don't want to lose someone during the game if we can help it through an injury, so as best we can, we'll make sure medically we go through what we have to go through, and we'll. If we clear him, we clear him. If not, we've got an 18th man there in young Gillette.
Tim, how close did Daly Cherry Evans go to getting a run-on slot?
Oh, look, Daly, I've said start of the year when asked that he was keeping both honest. Someone said to me, "Oh, he's keeping Cooper honest." I said he's keeping both guys honest, and he still is. I think same way Cooper was in the win behind Darren Lockyer. I think it's healthy for the team to have those guys playing as well as they are. But it just comes down to, at the moment, the incumbents we felt are the ones that, in a short turnaround, are still the ones that deserve the opportunity.
Is that the same with Billy in terms of form?
Look, half the competition is 4 and 4, so I think the whole comp, a lot of players have been up and down, but I don't see any of that side there shouldn't be there because they're under threat of being dropped from their team, let alone from our team. So I think right at the moment, also as I said, with a short turnaround, two training sessions in a mid-year test, it's obviously important to keep as much of the structure together as we can also.
Tim, have you seen the Kiwis side?
I've only just looked at it, and although I've seen the squad, but not who's playing where, so I'll have to wait. A lot of my comment would be based on once I get a bit of an idea of where they're playing.
There's only 6 survivors from the World Cup. You'd be shocked by that, like everyone else, I imagine.
Well, I think they've got some injuries to start with, so and obviously, they'll be planning for down the future. I've heard Steve Carney talking about the future World Cup coming up, so he's going to be blooding younger blokes as well, and so they'll be enthusiastic, and it's a side that, as the Warriors showed on the weekend, if you can't underestimate what's going to come out of New Zealand, so we've got to be on our game, and with young guys, I think six debutants getting an opportunity in that squad, I think they'll be busting to play well, so it's going to be an intense game.
And they've got Hooker who's played, I think, 2 or 3 NRL games. I imagine you'll be watching a bit of video.
Yeah, well, again, it worries me when you don't know much about someone, and the national coach picks him to play for New Zealand, so they obviously know the kid can play. So you're not going to get picked in a test side without having the ability. So, it really, although I understand we'll be favourites for this test already, but it's hard sometimes to play from in front, very hard, and they've got nothing to lose. They'll come out strong and throw everything at us, and they've beaten us enough times to remind me that you cannot go out and not play well. And this season reminds you. I think every player in the the Australian squad would say we've had a game where we didn't come out prepared well enough and we got beat this year. So it's a year for that sort of thing. So we've got to be on our guard, or a test match will be the same thing.
John, do you think the Sydney sports public will buy that?
Look, I think, well, New Zealand's in a position where they lost a World Cup final to the Australian side quite convincingly. They've got to re-engineer and recreate themselves, and Australia's in the position where they've got a balance between, you know, staying loyal to the players who've been picked before for Australia and actually picking on form, and I think that's exactly what you've seen in both the selections.
Should be able to explain why Andrew Feeder and Josh Papali lost their spots, and you know why Boyd and Nate.
No, I'm not. Outside of talking about form, that's I'll generalise in that regard, but I'm not going to be specific about those things. They're things I'll talk to the boys about.
It leaves you, I suppose Nate can play in the front row, but you're not as big, I suppose. More mobile, or not more mobile.
Well, we weren't as big as them last year either. And any time we've played them, I think the Kiwis have been bigger than us. There's no doubt. I understand what you're saying, but you know, it's sometimes the fight in the dog. So I'm happy with the guys that I've got. They perform well overseas for me, and I think they'll be first picked in the two State of Origin sides too, just quietly. So yeah, it's not just our selection. I think Queensland will go for the guys like Nate. And I'm sure Boydie Courtney will come into consideration for Laurie as well.
When did Jared rule himself out today?
Yeah. I saw him injured last night. I believe he received a painkiller at half time for the shoulder, but he woke up today as you would with an AC, and it'll be 2 or 3 weeks.
But he would have played had he been fit?
Well, Jared would have been considered strongly, I think. Yeah.